Good Monday afternoon. This is Micah Mitchell with Madison County Weather Updates. I want to give you an update on severe potential. This morning, the severe storms took a turn as I updated you in the overnight hours. They took a turn south, which I had told you if you were up at that hour that they might do so. Once they took the turn south, they kind of fell apart. New storms blew up uh, to the east of Marion and moved off to the east. And we just kind of got some sprinkles in parts of Madison County, and that was it. Again, in the video yesterday, I stated, some of these storms may blow up and they may not. It's just one of those patterns. All we can do is look at, that the energy is available and will it be able to tap into it. So I want to run you through our severe potential for later on today and more likely again in the overnight, early morning hours, and then a much better severe chance tomorrow. Before I get into that, I do want to bring something up because I've had several people say something to me. And one of the, I don't know, this page is getting to where it's not much fun anymore. But if you've noticed on my posts, I've been trying as I do updates, especially with severe events, I've been trying to put on the date and time. And when severe weather is moving fast, I can't always do that and get it out in a timely fashion. But I've been trying to remember to put dates on any of these that are not a forecast graphic that has a date. But if I do forget, I went to one of our page sponsors, Meldon HVAC, to and thank you, Meldon, so much. I appreciate you guys being sponsors. Melissa Odom over there, thank you so much. I screenshot this post I made earlier, and you can see in this yellow circle, if I forget to put a date on, when you look up underneath, and if you're looking at it, it would be Madison County weather updates up here, and they're right below this will tell you how long ago a post was made. So if you're Facebook does stupid things, it makes things come up from times I've had stuff pop up from 7 or 8 years ago for some reason. I don't know why they do it, but they do. I don't have time to go through and delete everything that I post. So, I mean, I'm one person doing this on top of a full time job. But I just want to make sure you know that if I forget to put a date and time on, you can look up underneath where it says Madison County weather updates and it will tell you how long ago. In this case, Meldon made this post 6 hours prior. If they had made the post 3 days ago, it'd say 3D. If they'd made the post 3 weeks ago, it would say 3W. And then once it passes a year, it'll say 1Y. So it will tell you up there how long ago a post was made. So if I ever forget, look up there underneath where the page's name is, and it will tell you how long ago that post was made. Now, on to the severe. So the Storm Prediction Center has us in a slight risk for severe today. You can kind of see this northwest to southeast type of track, and that's kind of what these storms will do. They'll start off as they're coming around the periphery of a high pressure system that's sitting well off to our southwest. I addressed the 588 line yesterday. As they come over, they won't necessarily track it in this kind of a straight line. They'll develop and they'll come and then they'll begin to get tugged to the south. And then new cells might blow up here and they'll track to the east and then they'll begin to pull south. So where they do this stuff is kind of the crap shooting the whole thing. And the model data is doing a really bad job with all of this stuff. So, all I can do is show you kind of examples of what could happen. But again, keep in mind, this is all possible. The main thing is to be aware that severe could be a threat. So this is our severe weather outlook. This runs through 7 a.m. in the morning. Again, that's one of the confusing things about the way they do these. So even though it says Monday, this actually goes through 7 a.m. tomorrow. All modes of severe are possible as we take a look here. The tornado outlook is relatively low, 2 to 4% probability of a tornado within 25 miles of a given point. The tornadoes really weren't produced much yesterday. Probably not going to be today. Going to be more concerned about that tomorrow. But there is a tornado risk. The main risk is damaging winds. Again, this is a 15 to 29% probability of having winds in excess, reaching severe criteria, which is going to be in excess of 55 miles per hour. And then there is a bit of a hail risk. Again, this risk is not very high, but it does exist. I wouldn't expect really large hail, but it could be a case where you get some small to medium sized hail that comes down pretty quickly, or you almost get a coating of hail. Again, the probability is not real high, but it is there. When we get into tomorrow through 7 a.m. on Wednesday, Storm Prediction Center has bumped us up to an enhanced risk for severe. This is going to again encompass tomorrow night into early Wednesday. And again, all modes of severe are on the table with this enhanced risk. The tornado probabilities are about the same. I would not be surprised to see, maybe this bumped up just a touch, in through this area. A lot of it depends on how the storms develop, or they form a solid cluster, or whether they stay kind of individual. But regardless of what the probabilities are, just know the tornadoes will also be a risk. In my opinion, they'll be a little higher risk tomorrow, but still not real high. Damaging wind risk is what has really escalated for tomorrow. You can see they've got us in a 30 to 44% probability of damaging winds. And then you can see the cross hatching over the top of that. That means that we could see winds, 70 miles per hour plus. So the winds, if they occur tomorrow, damaging winds, they could be more extreme than what we might experience in the overnight hours and into tomorrow morning. There's no real hail risk with the storms tomorrow into Wednesday. You remember in yesterday's video, I told you the Storm Prediction Center had our severe threat. Oops, didn't mean to blow that up. Let me see if I can shrink this back down here. Okay, sorry about that. They had the severe threat more over in here, and I told you I thought that would have to be pulled back west. That is what happened. Wednesday's severe threat is marginal. It'll be a lot more scattered. It probably is not going to be a big storm cluster, but there is still a risk for severe on Wednesday. That would be more of a damaging wind threat. So before I show you any data, I want to show you the radar. And here's what the radar looks like at about 5:20 p.m. And you can see there's some storms going on back here in northwestern Illinois, just really starting to get their act together. And then if we go over here to Ohio, there are some storms out here. There was one lone cell kind of here to the west of Columbus that faded out as it came east. It was all by itself. We've got nothing going on up around Chicago. Again, you can see the storms trying to work it and build up back here. Nothing going on across the Chicago area at 5:20, and pretty much nothing going across Indiana. So keep that in mind. And I'll show you just how bad these models are doing, just at where we are right now. So here's the RRFSA model, which has been doing the best. This is the 18Z run. And you can see it's got storms already initialized. This at 5 p.m. I already had storms initialized up here. It's not picking up most of this back here in northwestern Illinois. Had this cluster over here in Ohio being much more expansive than what it actually is. Stuff is just now starting to really percolate down here. And then, again, there's nothing in Indiana. So that's what this model had at 5 p.m. Here is the latest run, the 20Z run of the high resolution rapid refresh or HRRR model. And again, you can see it had some stuff popping up over here. It's totally missing what's going on back here. It had this one cell here. I mean, at least it was that accurate, even though this cell is now gone, but at least it did have that. It's way off on activity over here in West Virginia. So it just, none of these models are doing well. So you almost hate to utilize any of them to tell you anything. Here's what the latest HRRR does. It runs this activity well to our north until we get into the 11 p.m. to midnight. Then it kind of just is randomly blowing stuff up. and moving it through, which actually kind of is what this stuff has been doing. Even when it forms clusters, they tend to fall apart quickly. It does bring a cluster through at about 7 or 8 in the morning. The 20Z only goes out so far, so in fact it's still running. But that's kind of what that model had. Again, same issue with the RRFS. It, has this activity up here that's non-existent at this time and is overdone over here. But as we go through it, you can see that it brings this activity. Kind of look at the big jump it makes in 1 hour. It's got activity here, over here. The next hour, bam! It's like blown up all over here to the east. It's just like it totally jumps over this area right here, and then moves it on off, and just kind of really inundates parts of Ohio. And then it waits until about 6 or 7 in the morning to bring a line of severe through here. Then it brings some more severe in to our north, and tomorrow afternoon, by tomorrow evening, it's bringing some severe through. I mean, it's just real. The point of these is just these models are doing a terrible job, but the one thing you can pull out of is just kind of the hodgepodge nature of this. Maybe they stay in individual cells like these, which would increase tornado risk. Maybe they blow up into a cluster like this, which increases damaging wind risk. We're just going to have to wait it out and see. And we're going to have these waves about, it seems like every morning, and then again in the evenings. So far, the morning ones have actually been the ones that have produced the most. So we'll see how things play out. I'll update you if needed. If anything jumps off, I'll try to go live. And that's really all I've got for you right now. I didn't have time to do a 7-day forecast. There's nothing I really would change in it right now. Our main focus is in the short term on any severe potential. So this is Micah Mitchell with Madison County Weather Updates. As always, check out the pin posts at the top of the Facebook and X pages. Please donate if you can. If you already do, or if you're a page sponsor, thank you so much for helping this page go as long as it has. If this year is the end, this year is the end. Thank you for keeping it going this long. So I will update you if needed. Have a great evening.